Hi guys, and welcome back to cfctvyt TV. My name is Michelle.
And my name is Nina, and welcome back to Carefree Queens, guys. We're smiling, but it's more of like a what's the word? Just
It's just ridiculous at this point.
yeah, that's one way to put it. And I'm sure that we're all really fed up and done with Chelsea at the moment, and we're just chewing the same thing. It's the same feeling, the same result, the same outcome. So it's just not really a lot. There's not a lot that hasn't been said already. If you watched my fan cam after Brighton, you know exactly how I felt then. It's pretty much the same sour feeling. But Michelle, we haven't really had a proper chat since then. So I just want to know your thoughts really quickly, and then we can talk a little bit about Todd.
Well, I didn't watch it. I got notifications because I weren't.
You saved yourself.
Yeah, so we have a group chat, yeah, and Alex told me to feel free to send in a fan cam. And I was like, well, I didn't watch the game. And every single reply was just like, good for you. Honestly, good for you. You spared yourself.
Hmm.
I got the notifications. I was driving when I noticed the first goal. It was just before. It was just by the end of first half, yeah. And then I wasn't home yet. I was still driving, and I got another notification. I think what it ended 2-1 to Brighton, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? I'm so glad I spent my time in IKEA rather than on my couch watching football. Well, I mean, I don't really think there's any difference. I mean, I've seen bits, I've heard bits online, etc. It's just like, don't know. I think personally, I honestly think I've said it all. We even
Mm.
talked about starting recording. We even talked before starting to record, and we were like, what do we even talk about? There's nothing new. Our episodes are literally just a copy paste because the team isn't evolving. So what's the? There's not really much to talk about at this point. But you watched it, so let's hear your thoughts.
No, like I said, I pretty much don't want to dwell on it too much and repeat myself again because it's just a spiral now really, and it's just pathetic. But no, it's just the same thing, and you said something really key there, that we're not evolving and we haven't evolved in any shape or form. And when you look at it, even though we made like some small steps at certain parts of the season, it was almost like one step forwards, three steps backwards, and that's how it's been. And I want to kind of flash back to something really important that you had said in one of our episodes. Can't remember which one it was now, but you said something about Todd kind of being a first time owner, not really knowing what he's doing. And, you know, we're kind of deluded and set to believe that he does because he's, you know, bought so much players, you know, he spent so much money, that he's got this vision and that he's, you know, got all this in his back pocket. But I think what we're getting at more and more now as we progress, sort of, or shall I say, decline, you know, further into the season, is that I don't really think he knows what he's doing anymore. And there's loads and loads and loads of hints that you can even spot throughout the season that show that and reinforce that, you know, literally small things as making like really quick and stupid decisions with the, you know, the hiring and sacking of managers, because yeah, we were all happy to see Potter go, but frankly there was no plan, there was no really a set plan afterwards, you know. Obviously appointing Lampard was just a short-term fix, and it was very reactionary because he thought, right, what can I do? Club legend, let's go, everyone's gonna love that, here you go fans, enjoy Frankie.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, it did lift the spirit a little bit, because me and you were sat here, you know, last week before, talking about how it could potentially be a good thing. But like I said, even as small as things like flashback to before the Real Madrid game, Todd was spotted saying that we were going to win 3-0. And he said it, you know, with his chest, said that we'd beat 3-0.
He said it with confidence, even.
That's so embarrassing. First of all, that makes us look so bad, because firstly, to beat Real Madrid is a massive big deal anyway, even if you're a good team, you know, let alone if you're sitting 11th in your own league and you've literally not scored a goal in a whole month. And, you know, scoring a goal has never been more difficult. And you're sitting here thinking, we're going to beat Real Madrid 3-0 at their own home grounds, where they've literally won more than you probably ever will. So when you look at it that way, he's embarrassing us outside the media. We're literally being made fun of, and he's not really pointing us in a direction anyway. Yeah, there's talks with Enrique, there's talks with Nagelsmann, but realistically, is there an actual plan to this? Because when he made that massive decision to appoint Graham Potter for 5 years, big deal there. Was there really ever a plan B?
I don't think so. I
Mm,
think he has a very clear vision, but I don't think he is aware of how to carry it out. I don't think he knows how to carry through with it.
mm,
Because he brought in a bunch of young players. You said so many times this is a long-term goal, vision, whatever. Well, I think what's lacking for him is he has absolutely no clue how to go about it. And
mm,
I actually personally, I can see it from two sides. I can see it from his side that it was clever to get rid of the whole staff that was working for Roman because he wanted a clean slate. He wanted it to make it his own. So from that point of view, it makes sense that you want to build this in your name now. You can't really have anyone.
from the
Do you
old
know
regime.
like, I
Yeah.
even think it comes down to the smallest things, a loyalty point of view, blah blah blah. But I think that's where he makes the first mistake. These people have experience as well. I think that's where he has it wrong because yeah, they could be a problem. They could, I don't know, but I think you should give them a chance, and then you can sack them if you figure out yeah they're not really down to um, carry this project through with me, etc., etc. So I think the first mistake he made was to just go ahead and sack every single person instead of actually giving them a chance and be like, okay, do you have any value to the project I want to go through within the club? So I think he went into this whole thing with a too selfish mindset and like he even appointed himself to buy players in the beginning and um
Mm,
I think he's playing. Have you heard about the game Football Manager?
yeah.
Yeah. I like good leaders, they always associate themselves with experienced people because you do not know it all. And as soon as you start to accept and realize that, that's when it's gonna carry through. And I like I said, I think that's where he went wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think kind of set himself up for failure a little bit because he came into this thing with massive self-esteem, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with that because it's not an easy job to come in after Roman Abramovich. Period. This man literally won it all, and he literally set Chelsea Football Club standards. Let's put it at that. He literally taught us what it means to be a winning club, will have winning mentality, have the leaders, have the, just the winners really, and just to literally install standards. And quite frankly, they're all stripped and demolished right now, aren't they? They're literally buried underground. Nobody expected Todd to come in and literally win 5 trophies off the bat. Nobody was expecting that. Like, frankly, that's impossible theoretically and practically. However, what was expected was at least a little bit of a something to show the fans that there is that long-term vision, and that you're not just making decisions just so you can kind of fool the fans just for 5 minutes, and then have buy yourself some time to make your next decision, because that's what it's looking like right now. It looks like you don't know what you're doing, and you're trying to buy yourself some time. You're trying to fool the fans with these temporary little decisions here and there, or this kind of like fake win, if I can call it that, like occasionally, or an anomaly of a goal here and there. And it's just like, it is ridiculous. And I loved how he approached the transfer market in January. I loved it. That for me was probably a moment where I thought maybe I can trust you a little bit, because you do know what you're doing. You are looking ahead. You're looking at the youngsters. We had scouts looking across the whole world for these youngsters that we're going to build a future around. But with the results and the performances and everything else, it's just all to crap. And we see him at games, we see him there, you know, he's very much present, he's very much involved, you know, in the fan spaces as well. And that's some things that showing us that he does care about the club and he does want it to succeed. And you could have the best interest at heart, but it doesn't seem like, you know, what you're doing, Todd. It really doesn't seem. And by the day, it's just looking at even more and even more. And it's like, well, how are us fans supposed to trust this long-term vision? Because I keep saying this, I'm hearing fans say, call it off, like write this season off. The season is over. But what about next season? Because yeah, new manager's going to come in, but that doesn't mean that everything is just going to, you know, be gelled and we're going to start competing for trophies again, because frankly we're not even going to be in Europe. So things are looking very, very difficult next season. You know, we're going to potentially be trying to claw our way out of this this pit. It's not even a pit anymore, it's an actual landfill. It's a hole, it's a black hole in the earth. And it's just tiring. And you know, one thing I will say is nobody expected, like I said, for us to be winning trophies right off the bat with Todd. However, nobody was ever going to be okay with not seeing results and dropping 11th in the Prem. And Todd should have known that. Otherwise, he doesn't know what sort of club he's come into. Because, like I said, we were willing to trust the process, but we weren't willing to watch and endure this, were we?
Do you think we're going to get relegated?
Oh my God. To even think that that is a possibility is crazy to me. But, you know, if we literally lose every single game from here on, which is possible, very, very likely, we could potentially find ourselves in that pickle. And that's terrifying because we're yet to play Brentford, Arsenal, Newcastle, Man United. Where are we getting 3 points out of those games? Because I don't see it.
No, the horrible thing is, I genuinely think that if you get beaten by Southampton, who's bottom of the league,
Twice.
and at home, even at home, I feel like you could lose to anyone. Seriously. So there's so much uncertainty. There's just, it goes way deeper than the manager, and I've said that so many times. It is a very, very complex problem, and it's because we don't have a good enough owner. And I've said this a million times as well. I try to view this whole situation as a company and not only like a sports club, because ideally you do want to run it the same way. And he is a businessman. I genuinely do not understand how he cannot wrap his head around this and approach it the same way you would approach any other business. I really do not mind having an owner who has too much money, to the point where it's actually ridiculous how much money he has, if he spends them right. And I don't think he's been spending them right. I think he's been splashing money on players, expecting that their talent and their hard work is enough to win football games. That's not how it works. You need a whole community. You need a very, very, like, you need staff around them. You need someone to, it's like he went to buy something and then he forgot that he had to groom it as well. He had to take care of it. He needed to. It's just, it seriously baffles me. I wouldn't want to be in charge of a football club because I think I would make some crucial mistakes as well. But we're sitting here and I already think that we could do it better. I genuinely think we could do it better. And I think it's terrifying. I'm not going to neglect him and say it's not complex to run a football club. But he's a business. He is supposed to know how to run a company, and he's not running it. He's literally it's just crashing. It just
seems like, it just seems like he's kind of, like I said, trying to buy himself time to figure out what he is doing. And we're just supposed to be, you know, complying with that because we don't really have another choice, do we? We're supposed to trust him because he is our owner now. That's it. Like there's just no kind of way about it. Him and Egg Barley are literally running it, and we just don't really have a say. And that is terrifying. And that's why I'm just so nervous about next season, because he's not really made one rational, correct decision that's resulted in something good, you know, starting with the first one, Graham Potter, or even Thomas Tuchel, whatever you want to call it. Like everything that he has done has obviously been huge. He's made some massive, very out there, he's been making the headlines, and he's at his first year at Chelsea pretty much the whole season. He's obviously out there, and he's doing bits, but he's not really doing bits that are kind of translating for the good of the club as a whole. That's why I'm worried, because I just don't really know where and how this long-term project and vision is going to be, prospered, because it doesn't seem like he's got the right idea. And yeah, a world-class manager is potentially coming in, but that manager is going to have to obviously gel with the ownership. He's going to have to gel with the players, and he is going to be kind of that central figure which has to pick up this whole massive mess and make it work. And if Todd is expecting that one man is going to fix absolutely everything and it's all going to come off immediately, then he's very wrong. He's got it very wrong. And that's one thing that doesn't sit right with me, that he thinks that us not competing in Europe is something we're okay with, or not even contending to be a top 6 team. Like, that is ridiculous. He's literally been stripping the standards as we go along, and he's been embarrassing us as he does it. Don't come out in the media and say we're going to beat Real Madrid 3-0. That is embarrassing. It's embarrassing for us. No fan sat here and said that. Well, maybe some did, but come on, did you really believe it for a minute? Because yes, even myself, I thought we'd at least give it a go against Real Madrid. But Michelle, I'm not convinced this team wants to be in Europe next year. They don't want to be in Europe next year. None of them seem to want to play. And I haven't been talking about the players in this video because I've spent a whole fan cam talking about the players. That's why the spotlight's on Todd today. However, none of those players care about it, Michelle. So why am I going to sit here tomorrow watching that game expecting us to go through when we don't want to go through? It's not about playing well. It's not about scoring the goals anymore. It's about not wanting to actually be there and play. Real Madrid, a team that has won it so many times and should be bored, essentially, of winning the Champions League. No, they're the ones that look hungrier than ever, like they've never won it before. And that's where the difference comes. We're sitting here with a complicit Chelsea Football Club that is going to literally be submissive to anything that happens tomorrow. And we're just going to take it. And frankly, we just get to get embarrassed at home. And yeah, great. Come on then, Real Madrid. And you know what? I wasn't going to that game, Michelle, but I am going for 2 reasons. Number one is because that is the last time we'll be in Europe. Let's be real, for a while. And number two, I want to see Real Madrid play in person. I don't care. Toni Kroos, Modric, these are players I probably don't get to see play in person ever again. So I will be there. I will be there. I don't care. At least I'm watching some good football, watching a world-class number 9, scoring goals, whatever. At this point, we don't want it. It's true, though. We don't want it. So I'm going to go watch a team that wants it and actually play some good football. That's it, period. I'm so done. I'm so done.
Just to touch upon you saying that the players don't want it. To use better words, I think it's because of the environment. I think it's because of the environment within the football club in a whole, and that is his fault. It is his job to make sure that the environment is a good. It needs to be a good working space, and it isn't. And just because you bring in a world-class manager, yeah, I'd love to see that, because we is a top team. We're one of the best football clubs in the world, but not right now, because we have a shit manager. We have not a manager. Well, we have a shit manager as well. We have a shit owner. The environment is horrible because we don't have a good enough leader. I would have loved to be at the bridge as well, because I've never experienced a Champions League match there. And I miss Rudiger. I miss passion within the club, and I wanted it, like you said, I wanted it. Yeah, absolutely. I wanted it to see him play again. Wanted it to experience Champions League at the bridge, and like you said, we're not going to compete within Europe for. I don't know. I think it's gonna take a few years.
Yeah.
Which is.
That's crazy to think. Crazy. But there you go. There you have it. I think that's a good way. I think that's a good way to end it, Michelle. I mean, literally enough has been said. Everyone is just so tired. It's just so tiring being a Chelsea fan right now. And it just doesn't really get any better. Like you said, could be a few years, could be more. Who knows? Who knows? Right now, our club's fate is just in the air. I don't even know who's got it, who's navigating it, who's directing it, but it just seems like nobody really. It's just a bunch of shambles.
How embarrassing as well. James Corden. Do you actually think he's been taking advice from him?
Oh my god, I bloody hope not.
I'm not out for Americans in any ways, but I mean, I feel like that would be so American of him. him. Like, he's just clueless. He's embarrassing. I'm so, like, I swear to you, I've never been as embarrassed as I am right now. Like,
Absolutely.
genuinely embarrassed.
Agreed. Agreed. And I'm sure everyone is feeling the same. And guys, just if you are, let out your thoughts, let out your feelings in the comments down below. Let's cry out together. At least we have each other in this. We all know how we're feeling. We're all stripped and just absolutely dug into the ground right now with Chelsea. But here we go, looking to tomorrow, Champions League night. Whether you're watching or not, it's happening. I'll be there. I'll be there. And that's it. Thanks, guys. I mean, like, subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down below. Michelle, do you have anything to add?
I don't want to see Todd Boehly run this football club anymore. That's what I have to say. I want the wrong era back. No, but for real, guys, thank you for watching. Yeah. Cheers. We'll see you in the next one.